All right, welcome to the first episode of Pinch of Nerd, a podcast where we bring together two great tastes, the taste of cooking
Pun
and the taste
intended.
of nerd.
Pun very intended.
So this is the first episode,
Yeah.
and we have with us, myself, I'm J. Allen Bell, and I know nothing about food, but I do know a lot about nerd shit. And we have Mark Adams.
Yes, I'm Mark Adams. I am a self-proclaimed foodie, but probably closer to Jay Allen, where I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I know my stomach and my taste buds. I will say that my wife is a cheesemonger, so I have that kind of by proxy knowledge going for me. But to my right is our true expert in culinary,
Chef
Chef.
Aaron Bell.
Yes, I have the knowledge of both culinary and the nerdiness. So, that's where we're at. That's my bag.
I would argue that you are, out of the three of us, are the nerdiest.
It's a toss-up.
I mean, you two could fight it out, I'm sure.
But the point of this, one of the points of this
is loving, not fighting.
Of course,
yes,
of course.
but we're going to talk about all sorts of nerd stuff, not just the nerd stuff that I'm into or the nerd stuff that Aaron's into or the nerd stuff that you're into. We're going to talk about all of it.
All of it.
It's
across the board.
It's a podcast about love of food and love of nerd shit.
Yes.
And nerds. Loving nerds.
Loving nerds. I love that.
That's I think we run into some trouble with that at Comic Cons. Loving nerds is
Well, you got to get
sometimes
consent.
frowned upon.
Yeah, you got to kind of get consent to love on a nerd, even if you are a nerd. I think.
Even now in these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So that's what we're doing here today, and that's
Word
what we'll
up.
be doing from here on out. We'll be occasionally bringing guests on
Very nice.
to talk about their expertise in either nerd or food stuff.
Nice. And I don't think we need nerd guests because we kind of fit that bill pretty well.
There's some stuff that we don't know about because
That's true.
One of the things that we're going to eventually have to talk about, unfortunately or fortunately, is going to be like Pokemon.
We're going to need a 10-year-old on for that.
Yeah, I know a little bit because of kids.
Yes.
But I don't know that much.
I know a little bit because I was a kid at one point in time in the 90s. So that should help.
Unfortunately, I was in college when Pokemon hit, so kind of beyond my
We're
age
dating
group.
ourselves. We got to be careful.
So the premise of the podcast, as we've established so far, is we're bringing nerd stuff together with food stuff. And for the first half of the podcast, we're going to, I think, concentrate on nerdiness.
Yeah.
This episode, we're going to focus on the Star Wars. I don't know if you've heard of it.
The Star
The
Wars.
War Within the Stars.
Is that kind of like Star Trek?
It's
Yeah.
similar. but
Battlestar Galactica, right?
Slightly different.
Okay.
Same amount of robots.
Okay.
But
Is it like the black hole?
it's not
Oh wait,
as
that's
good
a
as the
porno
black
movie.
hole.
I'm sorry. I was watching that on Pornhub last night. Sorry, I probably shouldn't.
That's about the same.
So we'll be bringing... So the first half of the episode is going to be us jabbering about some nerd shit.
Yep.
And then we're going to turn the floor over to Chef Aaron, and he's going to deliver some foodness. He's going to drop some food knowledge on us in the form of a episode-specific recipe.
I think that's great.
And that recipe will be available in the comments and
on the webpage and on our video or YouTube channel.
So
Nice.
if you're listening and you say, "Oh my God, that sounds delicious. I want to put that in my face and then my stomach,"
Yes. In that order.
you'll have
Please.
options to do it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think because a lot of people, people that kind of geek out over specific universes or fiction or, whatever, the one thing they all have in common, they may not agree on, what their favorite movie or primetime TV show is, but we all like to eat and everybody has different dietary restrictions and whatnot. But I think there's still that nice Venn diagram of people just geeking out or just coming together because of food.
I don't know how your guys' opinion, but I prefer to eat with my mouth.
Feet, actually.
I tried the thing that they did on South Park once. It just did not work out well. We won't get into that right now, but
Yeah, I too like to use my alimentary canal to enjoy cuisine.
And it is interesting that I find myself on a food-centric podcast because I eat like a
12-year-old.
10 Yeah, 12.
I was
10 to
going to give you.
12-year-old.
I was going to give you at least like pubescent years. That's,
well, to be fair, I am a trained chef. I went to culinary school for 3 years. I've worked in the industry for now 6.5 years. And so, of course, being a chef, I eat only the finest in microwave burritos and stuff like that. So I'm truly the expert here.
I had a buddy who was an exec chef for many of the large catering chains in the Pacific Northwest area. He has since moved to Idaho.
Fun.
He loved
Potatoes?
Wiener Schnitzel, like the drive-through, like chili.
Do they have those here?
There's like 3 in the Pacific Northwest. There's one in like Vancouver. I think there was one in Hillsboro, but it closed. But yeah, so
good.
I think is that a common thing in the culinary industry where it's like, I'm going to make this like beef Wellington and then I'm going to go get McDonald's and I'm going to love every bite of my McDonald's.
Every single person that I know in the industry eats like shit. I mean, absolutely, like the quickest, easiest way. I make food for my family. I make dinner for my family. But, I mean, the easiest way I can do it is if I eat breakfast, I make breakfast for the kids.
Yeah.
Fine. What do I eat? Microwave breakfast burritos.
I love that because it kind of brings an element of humanness to like this profession that I think, some listeners will be like, oh yeah, that's easy. I could replicate that. Other people are like, how do you make water go blah, blah, blah? Like they, people just, there's the varying degrees of experience there. To know that the wizard can come down to earth and just, have a Big Mac is pretty cool.
Well, it's just the idea of just spending so much time in the kitchen, so much time doing this, so much time doing that. That's the last place you want to be.
I get that.
So I used to spend 8 to 12 hours on my feet in a kitchen cooking for other people, then come home and make dinner for my family.
Yeah,
and you hated every minute of it. You just you looked at them. You're like, you eat this fucking grilled cheese sandwich.
Grateful little
suck on your rice bowl.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about Star Wars. Nice segue. Did you like that segue?
Hey, that was a good.
I'm a fucking expert.
You know what? This podcast is going places if we can go from segment to segment like that. So speaking of microwave burritos, let me tell you about Dagobah.
Well, let's actually, before we really get started, we should probably point out that this is going to be a pretty blue podcast, right?
I think we figured that out, yeah.
Just as a heads up on the old ratings there.
Well, when they see the
explicit
big
tag.
E next to the podcast, they'll understand. And anyone that knows us knows that it's not going to
the
be
F-bombs
anything
just sort of
blue.
come natural. It just happens.
So yeah, so what you can expect from this podcast is nerd talk, F-bombs, S-bombs, B-bombs, C-bombs, probably no C-bombs.
Yeah.
D-bombs.
The C-bombs need to be curtailed, but also like, none of us are British.
We have like some, British.
None of us are
Scottish
British
people on.
Yeah.
And
then you're going to get the C-bombs.
Yeah. And then food stuff.
But the other
Food
thing we
bombs.
got to point out, food bombs, which a lot of these recipes that are going to be coming at you guys are going to pretty much food bombs there.
There you go. That's the kind of F-bomb we want to go with.
Yeah, but what we're not going to do is do recipes from the shows. So you're never going to hear from us, hey, this is an episode about Star Wars. Let's make blue milk.
Yes.
Or...
Yeah, we're not binging with Babish.
Yeah, we're not going to do any of the Bob's Burgers.
Yep.
We're not going to do Bachelor Chow from Futurama.
We're not going to do steamed hams.
Exactly.
Yep.
But we could.
We could, because we're talented enough, but we're not going to.
Fair enough.
Because screw that. Everybody does that. We're going to give you guys something new and different and hopefully amazing.
And by we, I mean really
Chef
you.
Aaron.
Yeah, if I am providing any of the recipes, it's going to be make Kraft macaroni and cheese with Velveeta.
Gross.
Yum.
That's a staple of our childhood.
I understand. It's not a staple of my childhood.
We will get into Velveeta hard. when
I don't want to talk about Velveeta hard.
I mean, it'd probably make a great lubricant. I think John Oliver actually called it orange Lorax jizz on one of his recent episodes.
It only makes me love it more.
You can't get that flavor anywhere else. But
hey, speaking of orange Lorax jizz, how about the Star Wars franchise?
Yeah, so Star Wars. Well, so I know how deep my Star Wars nerd goes, which is deep. As we sit in my basement, surrounded by
AT-ATs, Star Destroyers, Darth Vader fighting Luke Skywalker, the Millennium Falcon, Stormtroopers, a headless Yoda.
Yes, there's a story there.
There's a bunch of pictures. Yeah, no, you win for sure. Well, I don't know. You two probably are like right neck and neck on me.
Probably neck and neck.
I'm more of what you would call your casual Star Wars fan, where I've seen the movies, I like them. I couldn't tell you who the minor characters are to some degree.
The thing about Star Wars specifically is that Jeff and I were growing up together at that point when Star Wars was coming out, and then in the re-release of all the movies and all the toys and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where our nerdiness
that
really
totally
kicked
makes
into
sense.
high gear.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So I can remember going to Target and other stores.
Yep. Getting all the Kenner. See, that's how young I am.
Not even Kenner. The new Hasbro, like when they re-released the toys not too long ago, back in probably 96, 97, I would go to the stores and I would buy every single figure. At one point I had 300 some odd Star Wars figures. So I knew every single character. I knew every name of every character that there was.
Because they were all there in packaged action figure form.
Well, we have boxes and boxes of toys of Star Wars action figures.
The thing is, I actually sold a lot.
I was going to say, there were a lot of garage sales in my house growing up, and a lot of that stuff, unfortunately, made its way.
Well, see, we were older.
Yeah.
And so the very first Star Wars figure I bought was when I was senior in high school in 97.
Right on.
So, that's the first one that I can remember specifically. It was a Boba Fett figure.
Nice.
And actually, turns out it's one of the most expensive Star Wars figures of that line, because it had a minor defect, or instead of a full circle on his hands, he had a half circles on his hands.
You know what action figure? This is not about Star Wars, but you know what action figure? I made my dad take me. I was like 15 years old. I made my dad. We jumped in the car. We drove to Toys R Us or KB or whatever. And I know you're close. You're close.
Actually,
I made him. They were going to recall the new Tarzan figures.
Is that the jacking off one?
That's the masturbating Tarzan. I saw the news article, and I made my dad that night drive me to buy it. I have it somewhere.
You still have it?
I still have the masturbating Tarzan. I mean, how do you get rid of that?
Well, I think somebody, we've been binge watching Comic Book Men. I think somebody tried to sell one of those, and they wouldn't buy it for $10.
Oh, so yeah, not about Star Wars.
So we're finding out, those interested, the masturbating Tarzan action figure is not a good investment?
No, not good for your stock portfolio.
No, probably not. But I mean, check eBay sold items. You never know. It's probably still out there. I mean, that thing is 25 years old now. That makes it a classic.
I was going to say, I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole of talking about ill-themed toys like the Punisher.
I feel like that's probably another episode.
The Punisher that turns into
a good episode.
Yeah. The which Punisher?
There's a Punisher like Transformer thing that it unfolds into a gun that looks like his dick.
Oh shoot! I need to see pictures of that.
But I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's pause for a minute. It transforms into a gun that looks like his dick.
Well, no, it doesn't look like his dick. It
looks like it came from his dick.
It's a projectile.
So they know what they're saying.
Okay. Area.
All right. So it's not like you had to know what the Punisher's dick looked like in order to
but that would
realize
help.
that it looked like it? Okay.
Well, and it's not just called the Punisher for a reason,
That was my nickname in college, so.
It's a joke that never gets old.
No, really, yeah.
So, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Speaking of the thing that never gets old, Star Wars. That wasn't a bad segue. That was
actually pretty good. That was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
So
anyway,
Star Wars.
So that was the best 2 seconds of dead air.
That's the other thing you're going to get a lot of on this is sidetracks.
Yeah, there will be tangents, and they will be good. Good is in quotations.
Speaking of tangents, so Star Wars.
Star Wars, the ultimate tangent.
A serious kind of question, I guess, maybe to start. So, How bad are the prequels and the sequels, in your opinion?
Do you want to go first?
Let me rephrase that question.
Okay.
Obviously, the original trilogy is where it's at. Everybody knows that.
Yes, I would agree.
So what are
with
your
that.
thoughts then on the prequels and the sequels?
All right, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate on this, and I'm going to say that the build-up to the prequels was way better than the prequels, because I actually have good memories of playing cards, waiting in line at my local theater to see episode 1, episode 2, and probably episode 3 as well. So we didn't learn from experience. We were just, more Star Wars. This is exciting. So we're going to get in line and wait. This is, late 90s, early 2000s. We're like past college age, and it was fun. It was nice. I will always cherish those memories a lot more than the movies. And I think the sequels, I think for me, the sequels, it's more which movie are you talking about? I'm one of the I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I really liked The Force Awakens.
I liked all the sequels.
Did you?
And for what they are, I mean, they're Star Wars movies.
Yeah, totally.
Now, are they? You can take a look at the original trilogy. Are they good movies? No, they're really not great movies. They're fun movies.
Empire's got its moments.
I know it's cliche even to even say that, but it is a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
But in a whole, are they
Like
Oscar-nominated,
Oscar-winning, yeah.
Oscar-winning movies? No, they're not. They're
Provoking,
fun,
open-ended thinking. And,
they're meant to be fun. They're meant to be
sexy.
enjoyable. Yeah,
They're like a tub of
to be
popcorn.
incestuous
You just shove it in there.
Yeah.
We're getting blue again. There we go. So yeah, I would say the prequels as a whole, it was more about the build up because we didn't have any new Star Wars at the time, and now coming to the sequels 10 years later, I feel like that was enough of a gap. And now there's just there's Star Wars coming out of people's pores with so much content that it does feel a little like with the sequels it felt like they kind of rushed them out the door a little bit. So you're talking like trilogy A, trilogy B, and trilogy C.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking about Rogue One.
Rogue One is great. I don't want to sidetrack from too much of that.
That'll be a whole nother episode.
There you go. We'll have a whole episode dedicated to Rogue One.
I'm sure many of these episodes of this podcast will circle Star Wars in some fashion.
Fair enough.
So the prequel trilogy, I love the stories and I love where they were going, but the execution for me was a little
the idea doesn't fit the execution.
The original trilogy, amazing. Love it. Always love it. The sequel trilogy is the exact opposite. The story was just kind of like, what? But the execution was fucking amazing.
I would agree with
beautiful
that.
and just great looking films. But I will say, The Last Jedi, I think, is top 3 for me. That is,
I would put it at
great
3.
movie.
Okay, here's the funny thing about The Last Jedi. That was the 8th one, right?
That was the 8th one.
Okay.
That's the one that everybody hated.
Yes, that's what I was going to...
The fans.
That's what I was going to bring up. So
Fans
this is where we start losing listeners.
Already on episode 1.
Yes. No. What I was going to say was when The Last Jedi came out, I was like whelmed. Like not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just kind of whelmed. Like, that was... Whoa.
But it took me probably 2 or 3 rewatches to really get into it.
I think I need to do some rewatches. And then when we walked out of, not walked out of like we left early, but when we finished watching the Rise of Skywalker in theaters, after that movie, I realized, Last Jedi was actually pretty good.
The thing I liked about Last Jedi was it was so out of left field. Like all of a sudden, all these things that you just took for granted were gone.
Well, it's all this, all the stuff that all the so-called fans hated about it is what made it good.
Yeah,
they made Luke human. They made Luke a dick. He's not supposed to be, the second coming of Jesus.
He wasn't the chosen one.
Right.
He was the chosen one's bratty, whiny ass kid.
And wanting to go to Tashi Station to buy power converters.
You would never shut up about Tashi Station.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
They had 2 for 1 on power converters that day.
Just go to fucking Tashi Station.
It's not that fucking far away.
But if you would have gone to Tashi Station, maybe his aunt and uncle would still be alive. Way to go, Luke. It's all on him.
We miss 100% of the shots we don't take.
Is that Wayne Skywalker?
Probably.
You know what time it is right now?
I don't know what time it is right now, but I know
it's
you're going to tell me.
time for
everybody's favorite segment.
Everyone's favorite segment. Would you eat?
Oh, would you eat? I like this.
Mark.
Yes.
Would you eat?
Would I eat?
An Ewok, a Porg, or a Wookiee? All right. If you had to eat one, if somebody put a blaster or if somebody put a lightsaber to your throat and said, here's
if
one
you were
of these, what you have to eat one of these creatures.
Okay,
wait. If you were on a desert island, with Wicket, Lumpy, Chewbacca's son, and a Porg, which one would you sacrifice to kill?
First of all, I do not acknowledge the existence of Lumpy. Let's start with that, and asking for a friend. And for those of us that are not as well knowledgeable with Star Wars, what the hell is a Porg?
Porgs are from The Last Jedi. They're those little.
No, they were in.
puffin.
Oh yeah, The Last Jedi.
Yes, they're from The Last Jedi. Don't you fucking.
I for some reason, I was thinking the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, they're in that also because Rey does go back to.
Were those island things?
The little penguin.
And they make the
penguin
green milk out of things?
No.
No, what am I thinking of then?
The little penguin guys that.
Oh, there's two. Okay, all right, that helps. Thank you.
Chewbacca at one point was going to eat one.
Yes.
He cooked them up, and they're roasting over the fire.
Okay, so these actually are like a source of food. So that could be an automatic. Well, sure, they're cute, but they're delicious. Kind of like, sorry for the vegans in the audience, but bunny rabbit. How? Okay. Follow
More
up
like
question.
Cornish game hens. It looks
There
to
you go.
me.
Follow up question to your question. How are these 3 potential meats being prepared?
How would you like them prepared?
Ooh, okay.
I mean, we could.
So-
the Ewoks would probably be a little tough, so they would probably need to be braised.
Braised, yeah.
The porgs, like Chewie did, roasted over an open fire.
Oh, delicious.
Wookiee again, probably pretty tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So either braised or slow roasted and grilled.
The good news is it's time for the next segment, which is how would you prepare?
Oh, did I accidentally
Ewok.
segue into? Okay,
You didn't, but hey, we're just debuting a brand new segment.
because I figure if we're going to talk about nerd stuff, but also food, I don't want to just talk about would I just eat this thing, like pick it up and put it in my mouth.
That's an
I
excellent.
want to
point.
know how it's right.
So Chef Aaron,
Yes.
how would you prepare an Ewok?
An Ewok, I would probably take it and make some carnitas out of it.
Ooh,
'Cause I think some Ewok tacos would probably go over really well.
Ewokos.
We
there you
did
go.
make
I would eat those.
1 year. They may still actually be available somewhere online if you are savvy enough to find them. We made ELT T-shirts, which was an Ewok lettuce tomato T-shirt, and it showed like the bread, the Ewok, the lettuce, the tomato, the piece of bread. That is available to purchase, I think, if you're savvy enough to find where it is. If not,
Interesting. Little cafe press action, perhaps.
we may put it back out there if I can.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure I still have the image.
Well, I
Still have
think
the
for the purposes of marketing, I'm going to say I would eat an Ewok prepared as a sandwich.
Well, then, I mean, you could also do like, so as with the porgs, we could, remove the breast and do, porg confit.
Ooh.
So, do it.
What does confit mean? Does that mean with feet?
Yes. It means without feet.
Seen feet.
Oh,
Oh, no, that's sans. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So it'd be with feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Confit's
confit-
like a cream sauce, isn't it?
So that
No,
so does
confit
that
is
mean
the-
you cook it with your feet,
yes.
or
Yes.
you cook it with its own feet? You cut off
with
its
its
feet.
with its own feet. You leave feet intact and cook it. No, confit actually means to basically poach it in its own fat.
There we go. I knew there was some kind of like massive sauciness happening there.
That's pretty fucked up of the French.
Yeah, join the club. I mean, just open any French cookbook, and that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like
A lot of
Are
fat.
feed the animal, make it fat.
Do a lot
use
of
its
the
fat.
do a lot of the French recipes
foie
call
gras.
for
There you
slaughtering it in front of its friends?
Yes.
I think so, actually.
I mean that brings that
Cook
that
this
fear.
while making the others watch.
Yeah.
there you go.
The fear gives it that extra.
It's just the reminder that the chef is in charge. Like, this is what I did to your mom. This is what I would do to you. For Saturday evening dinner. So talk to me some more about this Ewok braise. I'm interested.
Well, I mean, like, what do you want to know? You want to know? Do you want me to go through how exactly
Yeah.
I would cook it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I mean, well, I'm not a butcher, so I can't slaughter the thing. So
Yeah, no, we're
I would
assuming
have to farm that. But I mean,
we're
with a
assuming the
lightsaber-
Ewok comes prepared, already butchered. Like, you've got the end pieces or whatever you need.
Yeah.
Ewok bacon.
Oh yeah, the
that
Ewok
would
belly.
that would take a while.
That'd be pretty fatty.
probably
They got some tum
fat
tums on them.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do.
Ewoks got
bacon.
some tum tums.
Yeah.
They're kind of all tums.
Ewok jowls. That might be.
Oh,
good.
Ewok cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about braised Ewok cheeks. I'm excited now.
So I don't know. I don't think any of us have been to Iceland, but Iceland has that dish where they eat. I'm sure other countries do, but Iceland, at least I know, has the sheep face dish,
Okay.
where they present you with like half a face of a sheep, and you,
Oh,
you
totally.
eat it.
So they do that in Mexico too. In some parts of Mexico,
With,
you
like,
can
the
eat
goats and stuff? Yeah.
Chivo,
Okay.
yeah.
So would you do that with an Ewok?
No,
Would you
I don't-
serve
I-
half an Ewok face and let people just pull the meat right off?
I think it would depend on the clientele, right? If you're serving a bunch of Wookiees, you would absolutely do that,
Well, I mean, but or no.
or Sand people or
The
something.
thing is, are we talking about serving it like that, or are we talking about like a Temple of Doom type situation where like the Ewok head rises up out of the thing and you bash it over the
Whack
head
it.
and eat the brains fresh? I mean, that could be fun.
Yeah, I guess it depends, right? Because like some animals, the brains could, there's some health issues there, right? With Ewok, I don't know.
Is there mad Ewok disease that we
Yeah,
need
that's a
to
good
account
question.
for?
I mean, they're forest dwelling. They probably eat like nuts and berries. I think that'd be okay to like.
I would think there's a fair amount of cannibalism amongst the Ewoks.
Yeah, I think you. Oh, well, then in that case, now you don't want to do the
That's a
live
good point.
brain thing. You want to do the pre-prep.
Yeah, they're savages. They do that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so like we're talking about like so you package it up, comes pre-packaged, and you kind of chop it into
you
cubes.
No, you don't even need to do that. You just
Okay.
kind of lay the Ewok roast out, and rub it down with some cumin, some paprika, some chili powder. I like to throw a little cinnamon in there.
How do you feel about like mustard powder or allspice?
In
For
a,
an Ewok?
in a carnitas, probably not
Probably
so
not.
much.
Okay.
But I mean, whatever.
We're doing like
floats
a
your boat.
German dish, maybe.
Yeah, or just like a braise, a normal braise.
Normal braise.
You could do that with some, again, some salt, pepper, some paprika. Throw the mustard seed in there, and I would do that. Braise that with a nice dark
Okay.
beer.
Ooh, beer braise. Okay.
Yeah.
Any citrus?
For the carnitas, yeah, I would put some lemon and lime in there.
Nice.
Throw the whole or
Do you do any orange with the Ewok? You think Ewok and orange would pair?
probably because I mean orange will go with just about anything.
Yeah.
But they're not a tropical animal.
No, but you don't need.
No, they're definitely not. So but would you braise it with like berries then maybe? Kind of keep it local.
Like 2 berries?
and like a twig.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess if you think like Endor is probably like Pacific Northwest, so they've got like blueberries in the summer or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Some
it would be,
berry and
that'd be
berries.
pretty good with the
A
berry.
Marion berry braise. Okay, I'm gonna eat an Ewok. This is a no-brainer.
Well, but I mean, we didn't even get into the Wookiee or the Porgs because I mean, like I said, we could do the Porg confit. That would be pretty good.
That probably would be.
And you
good.
could do a smoked Wookiee brisket.
You could eat a Wookiee for a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meat.
I know it wasn't part of the question, and that's fine because it's my question.
Well, Jay, what would you?
Would you eat a hut?
No, that
Oh
would be
God,
all.
no. You know what? Okay, has anyone at this table had escargot?
Yes.
You've had escargot?
I have.
I'll be danged.
So
Have you had
so
escargot?
Yes.
Here's the thing with
In a can.
even though I eat like a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
and I prefer to eat like a 12-year-old,
Right.
I will try almost anything.
That's fair. That's
So
a good
I
attitude
try
to have.
And then I say, no, give me the Velveeta grilled cheese sandwich.
So
Fair
then,
enough.
then again, what then on this line of thinking? What is the weirdest thing you've eaten?
I have a good answer for this, but don't pick me first. Pick Jeff.
Because I mean,
Weirdest?
well, do
I mean,
just
I've had
like
like crocodile.
I've had alligator, I've had wild boar, I've had
The
ostrich,
eyeball of a
I've
goat.
had,
I've had bone marrow. I've had just
Bone
like,
marrow is delicious.
well, I think it's overrated to be honest.
It's fatty.
I don't. Yeah, not,
it's
not
like a
fan.
sauce almost.
I've had
During
escargot. I've had what's the little eggs thing?
Quail eggs.
Quail eggs or balut. Have you had balut?
Caviar.
Oh, caviar.
Caviar. So
Okay,
so literally, so we were just talking about chivo. I've actually had chivo, like the whole head of a goat, at like of all places, a torta's place in Southern California, and they gave me the whole head because I asked for it, and I ate the eyeball and the brains, and the brains tasted like grilled, like scrambled eggs with a little bit of fish.
I have had brain.
The
because
eyeball, I can't remember what the eyeball tasted like.
What's the?
But it was
Menudo.
good.
What's the? Is it menudo?
Yeah.
The
Menudo
Mexican-
is
Oh,
tripe.
well, no,
It's got
tripe.
intestines.
But I think I mean
So you're thinking of sesos is a type of taco.
cabeza is the
That's the head. That's the
yeah.
cheek meat.
cabeza.
Yeah,
What's the?
no, that's the
is-
cheek meat. I promise.
There is a
I know. I'm talking back to the chef. This is
brain.
bad. That's called sesos.
seso. So
Yeah.
I have had it.
That technically, I don't think that's legal to sell in some parts of the states.
Really?
I don't think because I think there's possible like mad cow stuff with that. I don't know. I would have to do my research on that one. I think sesos is delicious.
So I'm almost positive I've had that. So, but I've never, to my knowledge, had eyeball. Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway,
All right, where do we leave off?
something about eating Wookiees. Oh no, eating huts.
So I brought up escargot because I feel like a hut would be like if you could eat a tub of escargot and
Now,
it
see,
just doesn't stop and you're
I don't think it would be escargot as much as like The thing that I would think about would be like the Malaysian country, or not Malaysia, but Malaysia, or some of those like Philippine islands where they do serve like those grubs. That it's just like
I'm not familiar with those.
Pop them in your mouth and it's just like a burst of jelly. That's what I would think. That's like 90%.
It's gonna be really
fat.
hard for me to eat.
Yeah, I would never try.
Have you guys eaten bugs before?
I've eaten crickets.
Okay,
Crickets,
like dehydrated.
Grasshoppers,
kind of the
They-
snacking type.
Yeah,
ones.
they tend to come dehydrated. And I swear to God, they taste like potato chips.
The ones that I've had,
They
they
just don't
just
have
kind
a
of
lot of-
tasted like nothing really. They tasted like whatever flavor they had on them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they
Cool,
always-
cool
people-
Ranch crickets.
People
Oh.
always spice them up so that
Isn't it funny?
you
Like
can digest
you
them.
just here's a big reveal for the audience. I don't like ranch dressing. So as soon as you said Cool Ranch crickets, I thought, wow, that's gross. But I didn't think anything about dehydrated crickets. But it's the ranch. It's like, oh, you just crossed the line for me.
I was just trying to think of
I think ranch makes everything better. So if you dipped a piece of hut in ranch, I would for sure
Cool Ranch
put
Hut.
it in my mouth.
Oh.
You could
On me,
you could
Mookie.
dip anything in ranch, and I would put it in my mouth. Anything.
Wow. Oh, okay. We're gonna put this to the test
That's why
as soon
Jeff
as the
was.
episode's
That's
over.
why Jeff was popular in high school.
There you go.
Hey-oh.
Called him old ranch breath.
I don't get it.
So I would eat. I think I'm sold on Ewok. Chef Aaron, were you? What were you? You were leaning pork? Was it?
I'm a big fan of the chicken, so yeah, I would probably do the pork over anything else. But I mean, I would try it all.
And the 12-year-old palate. What about you?
I would eat a pork because it would remind me of chicken.
Fair enough.
And I could draw that like kind of very easy line to chicken. I wouldn't eat a Wookiee because they're fucking beautiful creatures.
Yes, I agree.
I
Absolutely.
might eat a Ewok out of just fucking
Spite.
hatred.
Yeah.
What about a Gungan?
So that's
Ooh.
too easy. When I was writing this question, I was like,
I feel like Gungan leg. would be
Gungan, piece
so
of cake.
Maybe
meaty
like
and
be like
delicious.
frog legs. I would.
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
but it's too easy to hate on the Gungans.
yeah.
So I kind of picked 3 beasts, so to speak.
What about a
Yeah.
Wampa?
Wampa.
Wampa.
I mean,
Wampa.
you got the danger factor.
I would want to eat the Wampa and then
That'd
use
be like
the
eating
rest of it.
Bear.
Yeah, there you go. Like you wouldn't want to waste any part of the Wampa. You would feel bad.
Well, so let's broaden the question then. Is there anything in the Star Wars universe that you would for sure eat? Like without question, like
Blue milk.
100%,
Mon calamari.
I would eat Mon Calamari. No, I would not eat Mon Calamari
Why? Because they have feelings.
because they have souls. I don't need anything with a soul.
That's
why I will eat Ewoks.
I wonder what a sarlacc.
So
pit
here's
tastes
the thing. Have you? They're on. They're streaming now.
Mhm.
The Ewok films from the 80s,
Oh, gosh.
late 70s.
That was
Actually,
the-
no,
were
they're
those,
from
was
the
that the
80s.
cartoon?
No, not the
No.
cartoon. The films.
The cartoon
TV
is on
films.
as well.
Oh, what's it streaming on?
They're on the.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So, one of the creepiest elements that and I think it's not this way in the film, in Return of the Jedi. In the show, the Ewoks do not blink.
Oh.
So they just stare with their cold, dead eyes
Ooh, no.
for minutes at a time.
No.
There's no blinking. and
No.
It's just, you can see very clearly that there is no soul.
No, that's a nope out. I am so noping out of that.
Do they have long tongues so they have to re-wet their eyebrows,
Oh,
eyeballs
no.
with their tongues?
All of it, no. Oh,
Yes.
head in my hand, I can't do it.
They that's one of the weirdest parts of the movies is they keep asking the little girl to spit in their eyes. Just really weird. I mean, it's
Are you sure these are sanctioned films?
I may not have been watching the actual.
Ah.
No, but but for serious, watch those
Okay.
and just try
I
not
like
to
creepy
be
stuff.
uncomfortable with the fact that they never blink.
That sounds good.
I just remember we had that taped onto a VHS growing
Nice.
up, and I don't know if we ever actually watched it after the fact.
My memory is just horribly poor in general, but I don't. We watched them. We watched both of them. I don't remember fucking anything. anything.
That's
I
probably
remember the
okay.
look of the little girl, and that's about
Probably
it.
just tried to block it all out, right? That's probably traumatizing.
Although we have met Warwick Davis.
Or, yeah, I've got a.
Oh,
Do you
nice.
have that picture?
It's here somewhere.
Because yeah, I've got a picture and a signed photo with him and a picture of me with him.
And Kenny Baker we met also.
Yep.
Nice.
We've met many Star Wars.
Have you
people.
met Frank Oz?
No, that would be
No.
awesome.
That would
We
be awesome.
have seen Peter Mayhew cruising around.
Nice.
Back before.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yep.
Poor
Pour
little
one
blue
out.
milk.
There it is. Pour one blue milk out for Peter Mayhew.
We saw Luke and Leia from afar. Like one of the very first Comic Cons we ever went to.
Nice.
Did we?
It was, remember that it was when we got the Kenny Baker and Warwick. Those
They were both
autographs.
there. Hamill and
Yeah, but remember we didn't want to get their autographs because they were like, I want to say Hamill was $150 and Carrie Fisher was probably around 200, I think, at that
Ooh.
time.
How long ago was this?
That was probably
many years ago.
I think that was the very first San Diego Comic Con we ever went to, and they had a big Star Wars
Okay.
thing.
And
Oh,
so
okay.
we've since 2000.
2009 or no, wait, no,
No, way earlier. Than
no,
that.
it was definitely more than
2003,
2012.
2004.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was.
We've
early
gone
2000s.
to at least one convention every year, except for, of course, the lost years, which are the recent years.
Don't get me wrong. It'd be cool as hell to get those autographs, but hours in line and $200.
No, it was that was the big thing was just how much it cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just there at that point it was still just out of college, I think, and so didn't have a whole lot of extra money, but we had enough
Exactly.
money to go to San Diego and have
Exactly.
fun.
All right.
But that would have blown
And
almost.
that trip's expensive. For those that don't know how expensive San Diego Comic Con is.
Well, it wasn't at that time. It was much, much cheaper.
I feel like it was getting worse because you said 2012, right?
No.
No.
Those two, like 2000, like Jeff said, 2003,
Oh,
2004,
where did
somewhere
okay.
around there.
I got my dates crossed then. Yeah, okay, that would have
And
been.
It was
We went-
early to mid 2000s.
Yeah, we went
Okay.
to because we went to San Diego for I want to say like 7-8 years in a row.
Okay.
The last year we went was when Twilight hit, and it all like
Apologies.
90% of the.
We're not going to do a
Yeah.
Twilight episode.
Yeah,
here.
we might.
We might. What?
Who knows?
I went to some of the movies. Some of my friends actually apologized for taking me to New Moon. That was fun.
They never apologize for. That's one thing.
They literally apologized to me.
We
They
should get
really
across in our little podcast here, though. Is never apologize for your nerd shit.
Yes, I
Be
agree.
into what you're
If
into.
you're
Who
into
cares?
Twilight, God bless you.
Yeah,
If
how
you're
about it?
into Doctor Who, God bless you. If you're into Star Wars, if you're a brony, we're down with you too. Absolutely.
Yeah, do whatever. I don't care. Get it, whatever it is.
Aaron says that he's not into bronies.
No, I was going to say something else. It has nothing to do with bronies.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
say
I don't want to alienate one of.
No. So we're I think nerds need to come together, and some of us have outlandish taste, but that's okay. You know.
That is the one thing for sure. Internet, if you're fucking listening, chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ. Let people be into shit that they're into.
Let people be into stuff. If they're not hurting anyone, hey. And I'll just leave it at that.
So before we go any further, let's just pause for a moment. Let's do some advertisements so we can pay the bills.
Yes.
And we'll be back shortly. So one question I always like to ask is...
Where have I heard that before?
I like to ask in every episode.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... what's your favorite moment from one of the Star Wars trilogies?
Ooh. Favorite moment from any of the trilogies or the original trilogy?
Any of the three trilogies, from the trilogies.
The one that stands
Favorite
out.
moment.
I don't know if it's so much a favorite moment, but just it's when you said that, the first thought that went through my head was there at the end of The Last Jedi when Luke comes out and does the whole one-man stand against
Totally.
Kylo and all that stuff.
Totally.
But just when the smoke clears and he just brushes off the little bit of dust off of his
Yes.
shoulder.
That's a great moment.
I don't know. It's a good moment. And it's awesome. But like I said, I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite.
Well, yeah, I guess favorites maybe not.
I would say among
Right.
my favorites would be Luke's entrance in Return of the Jedi, where he's like, you haven't seen him since, Han's been in Carbonite, and suddenly he's a badass, however much time has gone by.
Well, so badass, he immediately gets shot down and captured. and barely makes it out.
But wasn't
alive.
that on purpose?
If his plan was to walk into Jabba the Hutt's house,
Yes.
not convince him to give him Han, and then get dropped into the Rancor pit,
Yep.
and
That was-
almost
well,
die.
I mean,
Yep.
if you read the expanded universe, the Heir to the Empire,
Which I haven't.
Shadows of the Empire. That's what it's called.
Yep.
For
I
the
think I
That's
own
that's
it,
definitely not his plan.
Okay. Fair enough. So he probably screwed up there. But you know what? There's a little bit of human there, but he's still kind of a Jedi badass.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
gotta-
not
I gotta go
dissing
with
on
that.
Luke. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, that's
but,
fine. That's fine.
But I think my moment also is from The Last Jedi, is actually when Kylo kills Snoke.
Ah.
Because when he
yeah.
fucking did that, I was like, oh shit, they just killed the bad guy from
Yep.
this whole fucking
Yep.
series. What the hell are they going to do now?
You thought. Yeah.
And then JJ kind of was just like, oh, just kidding, LOL, JK. He's not really the bad guy.
It's like,
Anyway, but that's one moment where I sat in my seat at the theater and went, oh shit.
Nice.
The other, aside from the Luke thing that I mentioned, the other aspect or other scene that immediately popped into my head was in Return of the Jedi when the Ewok dies and his little friend
Aw.
rolls him over. It's kind of dark, but
Yeah,
those, like I said, those are the two thoughts that popped into my head.
Is it because
fair.
you now immediately think, oh, that one's dead, I could eat it?
Probably.
I mean, it's a cop out answer, but just the sheer amount of action in every single movie is probably the driving force for me. Just to see all of the chaos and all of the epic battles, and even from like just the one-on-one lightsaber battles scaling out to full-fledged space war is pretty awesome.
So what happens in Star Wars, in the entire arc of all the movies, if Anakin doesn't kill Mace?
How do you know he did?
Ooh.
If
How
you
do
listen to all the rumors that are going around.
Sure, but
I don't listen to rumors.
how do you think it changes if Mace doesn't die, or if Palpatine dies at Mace's hand?
Wow, that's a big what if. Well, I think it would have been interesting if we saw Mace Windu in the main trilogy and in the
Mace Windu in the window.
Did I say Mace Windu?
You said Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. No, I meant Mace Windu. I just can't talk. No, I think it would have been interesting to see him in the series and see him in the.
Well, would there be a series? I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
don't think
just-
there would be an original or the original trilogy if.
Does
he had
Anakin
survived.
become the chosen one?
Well, he would probably not have become evil, so therefore he would not have become
Yeah,
Darth
that's a good
Vader.
point.
Would he?
He would not have needed to become. Luke would not have needed to save him for him to become the chosen one. He might not
I
have.
still think he goes dark. I still think he goes bad because he went from "oops, I accidentally killed my Jedi Master" or a Jedi Master to let's kill a bunch of kids in like.
A blink.
So you don't do that if you're already a little dark. And also, he did kill a whole bunch of sand people, women, kids. I mean, he killed them all like animals.
Yeah, once you start doing that and you act
Because of
like
the
it's no
sand.
big deal, you have no choice but to become that sort of
I think
almost
it takes him
non-redeemable
longer.
bad guy. Yeah,
But I think he goes dark.
since we're talking about the prequels, I think for me, a defining moment for me was the end of episode 3, or not the end of episode 3, but that ending moment where he's Darth Vader and it's James Earl Jones talking like, "Where's Padme?" And it's like, "Oh, you killed her," and he just gets up and just goes, "No!" Me and my friend just started just cracking up, and we looked at each other like, "Oh, we weren't supposed to laugh at that," and then we continued to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements in all the movies where you're just kind of like, but yeah.
That's more just execution, really. I mean, like, the moment was there, but we just, as an audience, we weren't there. Can't speak for everybody.
But I mean, I guess, what would you rather have him said? Would you rather have him just looked at the camera and went, "Oopsies"?
Yes.
Did I
Actually,
do
that would have been
that?
awesome.
Did I?
Did I do that? Oh diddly oh.
Darth
Some
Urkel.
kind of
He
some kind of a
turns
catchphrase. That's Darth. You know, I
He
don't
turns to the camera and goes, "Looks like it's hunting season."
know. It would have been cool if Darth Vader put on a pair of shades and did like a CSI thing. That's what I wanted to see.
So I think it's now time we turn it over to Chef Aaron to tell us all about this recipe that he's prepared for us.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Even though we don't have it here to enjoy, we'll just have to
We can
enjoy
imagine-
with our brains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine
with your
along
brain
with
holes.
us. Here we
With your
go,
brain
with your brain
holes.
holes.
So the recipe that I came up with for today is for Star Wars specifically, is in honor of the greatest character in all of Star Wars, and of course that being Dengar.
Jar Jar Binks.
No, Dengar. Dengar,
Ah.
like bandaged up old fogey guy, one of the supposed baddest bounty hunters in the thing, but it looks like he escaped from a mental ward.
Yeah.
It just looks like they're like, okay, so we need some bounty hunters. I don't know.
Put a
throw a
list.
nice bandage around that guy's face. Throw him out there.
Hey, get
You know,
Bob.
some AD is the real creator of Dengar, right?
Yes, just Bob from accounting just happened to be on set that day, and they needed one more guy.
But apparently he's in one of the sequel trilogies. if you believe
Supposedly he's the dude in the Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker.
Huh.
He's like a bit character that they pass by, like camera panning.
I'll have to.
and he
take an eye on that.
has been in the cartoon.
And he's been in a lot of the expanded universe stuff that may or may not be canon at the moment.
Fair enough.
He's in the
It's
Clone
up to
Wars.
Disney.
Okay. Clone Wars is good.
But
Clone Wars
anyways,
is good.
Yep.
That's a different
Episode, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Dengar is in the full-on trilogy. If you count his supposed screen time in Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, it's probably about 3 seconds.
But he's one of my favorites because
Yeah.
you just look at the guy, you're like, who the fuck is that guy? And also, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, you got the lizard guy, then you got Bandage Boy.
Yep.
So
That last one was a bit rough.
yeah. So anyways, to go along with Dengar, I figured why not wrap some stuff up. So the recipe I came up with for this episode is Spamakopita. So what we're going to do is
The bandage of the pastry world.
Exactly. So for this recipe, we're going to take some phyllo dough. We're going to take a little bit of spinach, some feta cheese, some Parmesan cheese, and various other things. And of course, we're going to knock that all together with some Spam because everybody loves Spam.
Spiced ham.
Yep, indeed. And
How long does Spam last in a can?
forever.
Fair enough. It's good Fallout food.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll chop that up, cook that all up, wrap it up in the phyllo dough in nice little petite triangle packages, and
Nice.
bake that shit up.
Can you use puff pastry?
No,
Why?
because it's illegal.
There you go.
The Greek mafia will come and arrest you.
Do you do what is that term? Is it lamentation where they do like dough, layer of butter, dough, and you get the extra flakiness?
Yeah.
Is that a thing for Spamakopita or no?
I have no idea.
Probably not.
I'm not a baker.
That's fair.
We will be doing some baking type recipes.
Yeah.
I've got some
Okay.
of those coming up, but I did not go to pastry school. I went to
Okay.
Chef
I
school.
went to the real cooking school.
Oh,
Throwing the gauntlet.
Them's kitchen fighting words.
Throwing the gauntlet down.
Thought we
for
were here
those
to love,
bakers,
not to fight.
the master
That's just for
bakers.
nerd stuff, not for food stuff. We will fight. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I do like baking, and that's why I got into cooking, because I realized that when I was a kid that I could, if I wanted to eat cookies, I can make cookies.
Yes.
And that's why I'm fat.
well,
I
so
understand.
I
Trust
love
me.
cookies, and I know that I could make cookies, but I'm not going to make cookies.
Oh, Jeff
so I'd
over
rather
here,
just
he'll-
go to the
he'll-
store and
he'll-
buy cookies.
Solicit people
well,
to give him cookies. is
That
what
was when I was a
happens.
kid. I realized it's like the fastest way for me to eat a cookie is
Is
to make a cookie.
Make it go poof. There it is.
Exactly. Because we always had
Well-
eggs, sugar, and butter.
I mean,
There you go.
that's very enterprising of you. But
It is.
When I was a kid, it was the quickest way for me to eat a cookie is to me to be fucking rich, so I can go buy a cookie.
That either be rich,
That
be
was-
enterprising, or just yell at your parents
That
until
was
they
my-
cave in,
that-
and they just give you a cookie.
Even though we grew up in the same house,
Right.
that's clear how our attitudes around food are different.
Yes.
Aaron's was more, I can make that, where mine was, I better pay somebody to make that.
Yeah. Interesting. Did you pay Aaron to make it, for example?
I've never paid
You
you for
could
any
have.
food.
No.
Alas.
Never.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I don't know if I've ever made you cookies, anyways.
Oh,
I
well,
don't
that's
think you've
fair.
ever made cookies that I've eaten either.
I'm a little disappointed in
No,
that.
you've eaten cookies because when you came over for Christmas,
Oh, no, that's true.
you had
Okay.
Yeah.
cookies there. A shit ton of my cookies.
Aha.
Oh, that's true. I don't
You
even.
have had cookies.
I just eat them.
That's well. You don't care what the author is.
Typically,
You're just like
typically,
chomp,
if there's
chomp.
cookies in a house, I will go to where the cookies are stored.
Yeah.
I will eat a cookie, and then I will say, "Oops, I accidentally ate a cookie."
Oops, I ate it.
And then eat 5 more.
And then I'll eat 5 more.
So spam is not a typical ingredient in Spamakopita.
No.
Curious to know the crossover there.
I actually came up with this recipe in culinary school.
Okay.
And it's because somebody made the offhanded comment about, hey, we have this spam here. And the first thing that went
The
through my
hell do
head
we do with
was
this?
Spamakopita.
Spamakopita.
And it worked out really well.
So
Excellent.
you just you cook all the shit and then wrap it up in phyllo dough and bake it.
Yep, pretty much.
Sweet.
And again, you can find the recipe and how-to over on our website and our YouTube channel.
Do you put cumin in it?
You could.
Do you put?
Do you put Zatar on it?
No.
Why not? It's close enough.
Do you put
No.
talcum?
Do you not like
powder in it?
Zatar? Zatar is delicious.
Is that the guy from Big? The
Is it?
fortune-telling machine?
Oh, I think it is. But it's also, a
no, it's actually
Lebanese
Zoltar,
seasoning.
but no.
Zoltar. Okay. Zatar. Making fun of Zatar on my watch. Anyway.
Is Xantar the movie with Sean Connery where he's wearing that really red?
The red,
Oh,
the red
gosh.
Borat swimsuit.
Yeah, the red Borat swimsuit
I don't
and
know.
the
That sounds awful.
mid-thigh high boots.
Oof. I don't know what that is. You got me on that one. All right. That's a Google search.
Hey Google. Actually, we don't have that.
We,
Google shit
no,
either.
you have a Hey Siri.
Hey Siri.
We need to do an episode for cartoons and also an episode for video games. So I think I could participate more with those.
Oh, wait, I mean, shit, we've got tons.
Zardoz.
Oh,
Zardoz is the Sean
Zardoz.
Connery thing.
Oh,
So, yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen that before.
So Zardoz is a movie with Sean Connery. Zoltar is the genie that makes Tom Hanks big in the movie Big. Zatar is a delicious and wonderful seasoning from Lebanon. I believe it's from Lebanon.
And Zanzibar is some other thing that I
Yes.
don't know.
That's right. I think we covered it.
Yep.
So, last question.
Okay.
If you didn't have Spam, would you use an Ewok, a Porg, a Hutt, a Gungan, or Wookiee?
Ooh.
And you were making it to enjoy it, not just to murder one of those things.
Yeah, well, see, that's a different question because enjoyment would be completely different than just wanting to murder that. And in that case, that would be a Gungan.
Gungan for the murder, but for taste.
I'm going to go off your list there, and I'm going to actually say Jawa.
Oh, what would a Jawa taste like? Like I can picture a
It would
pork.
taste like a little person.
So chicken. Probably.
Sure.
Jawas taste of junk metal and chicken.
Well, that's because cannibals say that humans taste like chicken.
Yeah, that's where I was going
Do
with
they?
that.
I don't know.
Chicken
I've
guess
never
we'll
met
believe
any
them.
cannibals.
It is one thing I have not.
Would rather not.
I have not eaten human.
That you
and,
know
and
of.
I hope that I never will. That's a good, that's a perfect segue into either signing off or whatever we're doing next.
So I think that wraps up today's pilot episode of
All
A
right.
Pinch of Nerd. Any last thoughts on either food stuffs or nerd stuffs?
I think I would prefer barbecue sauce with my porg as opposed to like a honey lemon garlic thing.
That would be good. I would approve of that.
I would just like to say that the prequels are fine movies. Enjoy them. If you hate them, deal with it. The original trilogy, great movies, wonderful movies. If you hate them, deal with it. The sequels, fine movies, good movies, some of them. If you dislike them, fine. If you love them, deal with it.
And I think on that note, I think I definitely need to watch The Last Jedi a few more times.
Yes, I
think
think
I'm
you
missing out.
definitely should.
Yeah, I'm missing out.
Like Jeff said earlier, I think it's in my book that's number 3.
Right on.
I think it goes Rogue One, Empire, Last Jedi.
Wow. That's a list. That's a list you could take to the bank. Don't take that list to the bank. They will turn you away.
Yes. They will not give you a loan based on that list.
No. I think they need more than that. More than
Now,
that
if
for
you
collateral.
put the Force Awakens in that as number 3, maybe they would give
They
you a
might
loan.
consider it.
All right, well,
All right.
take it easy, everybody. See you on the flip side.
On the next one. Yep. I've been Mark Adams.
I am always J. Allen Bell.
And I am Aaron Bell.
Peace.
Good day.
Ewok rules.